School sucked, like the whole time. I got bullied constantly, and not just by any random kids, but by people who were supposed to be my friends. And also, I feel like I was an easy target, and I guess that's just how teenage life is. But it messed up my head so badly. It made me think that I should be different, like maybe if I can change something about myself, things would be better. Maybe I wouldn't be such an easy target then. Maybe people would actually like me then. And unfortunately, at home, things weren't much better because my parents split up and got back together 4 times, 4 different times when I was a kid. And then when I was 15, they finally divorced for good. But also one of the saddest things was that my sister went to live with my dad. And I stayed with my mom. So that wasn't great for me, not at all. I felt completely alone. And how about my room back then? A disaster, always messy. I mean, my parents encouraged me to do chores, but it wasn't never really my thing. And my dad, he was the completely opposite. He rage cleaned like every week, loved keeping things spotless, and honestly, I was scared to get in his way. Because I remember weekend mornings, the vacuum would be screaming, music blasting, and I'd just be there trying to sleep through it. And then something else also happened when I was a teenager. I think I was 13 or something. But my friend died. And that changed something in me. And I don't even know how to explain it, but it was like a switch flipped in my brain. And that's when the depression and anxiety really started. They kicked in. I remember it was constant heavy feeling I couldn't shake. And then finally by 19, I finally moved out on my own place, my own rules, no one telling me what to do. And at first that felt like freedom, but almost immediately it got hard. Because keeping up with my apartment, taking care of everything by myself, yeah, that didn't exactly go well. The dishes started piling up immediately, and laundry, forget about it. But at the same time, I had people over all the time, so my friends would come by, and that was the only reason I've ever cleaned. And if someone was coming over, I had to at least make it look like I had my life together, right? And then my boyfriend moved in, and I was 20, maybe 21 or something. And at first I thought, okay, maybe this will help me. Maybe it'll be easier if I have someone around. And in some ways it kind of was. Because I've always found it easier to do things for other people. Taking care of someone else, no problem at all. Taking care of myself, way harder. Even if I knew something was good for me, it just felt impossible to actually do it. I think I'm a people pleaser. And then at some point we moved into a bigger place, and it was this 3-room apartment, and my brother moved with us. And we had other people staying with us sometimes too. So more people, more responsibility? I guess so. But my boyfriend, he didn't really do much. Unless you count playing video games all day. And don't get me wrong, I love to do that too. Even still. But yeah, that was basically what he did all day. So it was mainly me and my brother who cleaned the apartment all the time. And it stayed relatively clean. And then somewhere in 2017, I kept losing my jobs. I'd get something and then boom, back to being unemployed. And I tried going back to school 3 different times. Yes, 3 times. But the anxiety was just too much. I mean, I started, panicked, and then dropped out. And the worst case was when I just stopped showing up. I locked myself in my apartment, didn't tell anyone about it, ignored all my messages, ignored all my calls, tried to pretend none of it existed. And I didn't want to talk to anyone, I didn't want to deal with anything, I just wanted to disappear. So at this point, I wasn't living in this apartment. But at some point, I ended up at the unemployed office, which honestly was the last place I wanted to be back then. But weirdly enough, that's where things kind of started shifting. Because they sent me to therapy, and for the first time ever, I actually thought maybe I should get help. Because if I'm being honest, I didn't believe I had mental health issues back then. I thought I was just weirdo or something. I felt like something was wrong with me, that I couldn't fix that, it was in me, you know. But then I got diagnosed depression and anxiety disorder, and suddenly it all made sense. And I got on medication, but things got worse before they got better. Because then, in 2018, I broke up with my boyfriend, and that sent me into a full-on downward spiral. I sank into the worst depression I'd ever been in. Like ever. But at least I had my brother. And at the same time, when I was depressed, I had this huge, stubborn need to prove to everyone that I could handle this, that I was fine. So I didn't tell anyone how bad it really was. How was I really feeling? I just kept going, like nothing happened, pushed through. And I kept the apartment somewhat clean with my brother. It wasn't an easy job to do, but I still did it. And then, out of nowhere, I got a message from the government that my rent is too expensive, or our rent is too expensive, they said. And they also said that you need to move, just like that. And I was just thinking that I had just started rehab, trying to get my life together, but no, time to pack up and go. I didn't have any place to stay until my friend told me about this apartment. So my friend told me that she's planning to move out of here, and since this is her first apartment, she wanted to rent it out. And she asked if I wanted to move in. And of course I did. I truly believed everything would go well. First I thought this is a fresh new start for me. And that's one of the reasons why I feel this overwhelming anxiety right now. Because this apartment belongs to someone I deeply care about. And I've let it to get to this state. So I moved in alone, and that's when everything really started to falling apart. So at first I really believed I could handle it, that moving here would be a fresh start, a chance to finally keep things under control. But then, little by little, the mess started piling up. At first it wasn't too bad, just some dishes left undone, a little clutter here and there, mainly in the kitchen, some of them in the living room, but it wasn't too bad. But then I stopped keeping up with it, and once it started, it just kept getting worse, until eventually the mess was everywhere. And the worse it got, the harder it was to even think about cleaning it. But whenever someone was coming over, it was like a switch flipped in my head. I'd go into this full-on panic mode, just like my dad, rage cleaning, because I've learned that works. I was scrubbing everything like my life depended on it, and shoving things into closets, stuffing trash into drawers, just anywhere it wouldn't be seen. And for a little while, it worked. The place would look fine, almost like a normal home, and I'd feel like maybe, just maybe, I could keep it in that way. But soon I'll notice that as soon as they left, the cycle would start all over again. And then I realized at some point I just I just stopped inviting people over. It was easier that way. Because no one would see it, no one would ask questions, and if no one saw it, maybe I could pretend it wasn't that bad. And then, before I knew it, a whole year had passed. A year where no one had stepped foot in this place except me. It was a year where I had let everything pile up. The mess, the dust, the trash. And the kitchen? God, the kitchen was the worst of it all. At first, it was just little things. A few dishes left in the sink, some takeout containers I forgot to throw away. But then the trash started building up, slowly at first, until one day there wasn't any counter space left. None. Then the floor started disappearing under the piles, and before I even realized what was happening, the whole room was buried. It was scary. And then it got to the point where I couldn't even use it anymore. There was no room to cook, no way to clean, no way to do anything. Even feeding the cats became a problem, and I love my cats, I really do. But trying to feed them in that mess, it was a nightmare. I had to push trash aside just to make space for their bowls, and sometimes they'd knock things over, or their food would get mixed in the garbage, and it just made everything worse. And every time I looked at this kitchen, I felt this crushing weight on my chest, like it was rotting right in front of me, right now, and I couldn't do anything to stop it. It didn't even feel like a kitchen anymore. It felt like something that had completely spiraled out of control, something beyond saving. And the longer I ignored it, the worse it got. The worse I felt. It was like this endless cycle of knowing I had to do something, but the more time passed, the more impossible it seemed to do anything. Until eventually I just stopped thinking about it altogether. I just closed the door and never opened it. Because if I let myself think about it, I'd have to deal with just how bad it had gotten. And I wasn't ready for that. And I feel like that was the point when it really hit me. I realized the mess wasn't just mess, it was like a reflection of everything I had been carrying all these years. All these years of feeling stuck all the time. I thought I wasn't good enough. All the times I told myself I'll fix this later, but later never came. Like I said, I had started going therapy, so suddenly it kind of started working. I started feeling better. My mind was clear, and the weight of the depression wasn't crushing me anymore. And for the first time in forever, I actually had the energy to want more for myself. And that's when the mess really started to bother me. Like really, really bothered me. Because I knew how much better life feels when things are clean, when your home is clean. How much easier it is to breathe, to think, just exist when your space isn't swallowing you whole. And that's what made it even harder, because I wasn't in survival mode anymore. I wasn't completely numb. I was aware of it now, aware of how much this mess was holding me back, aware of how much I wanted things to change. And then I started watching your videos, and I can't even explain how much I related, because no one wants to live like this. I can tell you that. No one wakes up one day and decides, I think I'll just let everything pile up until my home is unavailable. It just happens. One little thing at a time, until suddenly it's too big to face. And watching those videos and seeing people get a fresh start, seeing that it was possible to dig yourself out of it, it gave me so much hope. Real, actual hope. And now, things are finally getting better. For the first time in so long, I feel light. My depression is gone, my anxiety attacks, they are gone, and asking for help, that was the final step. The thing I never thought I'd be able to do, but I did. And now I get to start over. No more weight dragging me down, no more feeling stuck, just a clean slate. And I can't wait to see where this new beginning takes me. So guys, the story ends here, but the kitchen's best part starts now. Guys, look at this. Have you ever seen anything like this? I bet no. You guys have to guess what it is. Because first I had no idea. It looks like mushrooms or something. It was so weird. When I opened the microwave, I was screaming. I don't know if it was from the excitement or did I get scared. I don't know, but it was something I've never seen before and I loved it. And guys, that resident's voice message was something so beautiful. I was listening that message in silence and I don't know, it was honestly so beautiful, and I think it was such a powerful description of how someone ends up in a situation like this. Do you feel, did it give you any new perspective? Because for me, it really did. I was like living on it. And the resident was so nice, super nice. So when I found out about this, okay, there was a hint what it was. So I asked about it, like, what was in your fridge? And she said it was minced meat. Yeah, there was a paper under that, if you saw that. Yeah, minced meat. I don't know, did she like try to cook it there or something, but she didn't remember that either. So it was crazy because I posted an Instagram story about it and people were crazy, and so she commented too, like, oh my gosh, I forget it. And yeah, it was the funniest thing like ever. I'm still sad because the fact that this is her friend's home, and it's kind of ruined, even though I try to clean it, but still, for example, the floor is 100% ruined at some part, obviously. So I don't know, let's clean it and let's see. It looks pretty good, but the smell is still very strong, so I don't know. And for example, the fridge, it's broken, the freezer is broken, so it needs to be replaced. So I don't know if the friends want to come over by then. At some point I think this all is gonna be revealed to her, maybe, I don't know, or then she can replace the floor, but I don't know, you can't do that without the landlord knowing, right? But if she's a friend, she might understand that she has some mental health issues, but still, I feel like if this was my friend, I would at least hope that my friend would tell me that, hey, I have this big problems and maybe I could help her. But again, I know that sometimes it's easier to let some stranger to come to your home and clean. For example, me. Many people say that it's so much easier when I come, and I'm not like judging them because I'm not their friend or relative. So yeah, I get that nobody wants to let of their friends to come and clean. It takes more courage, if you know what I mean. But hey, I think the kitchen is done now. It came out so amazing. You have to see the final result. All the before and after pictures are at the end and they are amazing. And by the way, here I'm I have a Cine Live going on. So Cine Cleaning has a TikTok account. So I was on live there and it was so much fun. Did you guys saw it? If somebody saw it, please let me know. And please let me know if I should keep more lives. Because it was super fun. It was super exciting. Like people were commenting like, hey, how do you do that? Why are you doing that? And this. So I could answer right away. It was so much easier. Yeah. Let's dry this sink, and I think it's pretty nice looking, right? Titty! A new soap, and ta-da! Okay, the toilet bowl isn't too bad, so that's why I'm using Cindy's kitchen cleaner, because I think it will work right away. But let's see. Let's see. And guys, some of you may know that currently I'm cleaning in Texas. So when I get here, I wanna start immediately edit. Ooh, look at this Cindy's toilet brush. It's replaceable head. But yeah, as soon as I get here out of here, I want to start editing all these Texas cleanings, or I have an editor, of course, but we are gonna do that together, so it will be amazing. You'll get to see so many good home cleanings. I love that. I love Texas. Everything's bigger there, and it's gonna be crazy, some crazy stuff. Okay, here I'm teaching how to use this Cine bathroom scour. So there's a replaceable head or a pad, and then I just spray some water and a little bit of kitchen spray, and then a little bit of chlorine because the floor looked pretty nasty. So the bathroom scour, it cleans all the tiles, but not the grout between the tiles. So that's why you need to scrub it with a brush. But apparently, WTF, I forgot to do it! What is wrong with me? Okay, let's try it again. I don't know. Somebody requested that I would clean it under the washing machine, so here we go with the bathroom scour. Good job. More product, please brush it. Okay. Good! At least some part is being cleaned properly. Okay, rinsing, and it's done. I think the grout is still dirty, but maybe I didn't realize it because it's now wet, so maybe I'm not the best cleaner in the world. Oopsie. Okay, and here comes the second best part after the microwave. So deep cleaning the sofa with a dish brush. It's so good. Especially if you have pets, cats, dogs, whatever, try this trick. I promise you it works. Okay, I'm not promising if you use a crappy dish brush, then I don't know. But at least if you have a good dish brush like Cine's, but Cine doesn't sell their products in the US. But still, try it. It will collect all the hair from it. It's so good. Look how clean it is! Only with a dish brush. Because sometimes vacuum cleaner doesn't take all the hair. For example, a fabric like this. I mean, guys, wow, I'm speechless, even though I'm doing this. But still, it works so good. And ta-da! This is done too. Beautiful. And of course, for example here, I would prefer a vacuum cleaner, but unfortunately I don't have it. So I'm just gonna brush it out, and it works just as well, right? Yeah, it's fine. Oh, and I'm so happy that this floor isn't ruined at all. So yeah, it's really easy to clean it. I'm just gonna collect all these, and then just wipe it clean, and it's done, right? And then let's put the rug back in place. Voila! And hey, here's a tip if you wanna wipe your TV. First, wipe it with a damp rug, and then after that with a dry one, because then it prevents any streaks. It's so easy. Just water, so simple. And if you want to try my own signature microfiber cloths, and by the way, they are the best ones out there, they are linked in the description, so go and check them out. Here's a cleaning tip. If you have a counter or a table like this, like a totally white, use Chief Cream or Power Paste because they are also white and they makes everything white again. So I bet this table is gonna be spotless after this. Yesterday I saw a TikTok where a woman cleaned her toddler's this drawer table. It was full of marks and she cleaned it with Power Paste and I was like, well done, that's my girl. Okay, let's clean this rug real quickly and then the floor. Just wipe, wipe, wipe. Okay, it feels so sticky. So let's use this scrub daddy spray. It smells so good. They have now a cherry flavor. No, cherry scent. Not a flavor. Yeah, it's so good. You have to try it. Okay, final steps in the kitchen. I know she's gonna be so happy, so relieved. Imagine when she gets home. I can't wait. I bought a bunch of new stuff for her and look at the microwave. Isn't that clean or what? I can't believe it. And this is the kitchen before and now? Wow. Beautiful. So beautiful. I can't believe this, that I did it in 2 days. Wow. It looks beautiful when it was dirty though. And this is the living room. And after, it's so peaceful. It feels like you can like live here in peace. Yeah. Super. I love you guys. You are the best. And see you in the next dirty home. Bye bye.